There are a lot of videos out there about how to create a YouTube channel. This is a phrase that most content creators will use when they want to start off sounding unique, when they want to position themselves as being something different. But let's talk about what this channel is not and what value it has for you. This channel doesn't talk about how to create a YouTube channel. It doesn't even talk about how to be successful at YouTube. What this channel is going to talk about is starting YouTube or entering the YouTube environment as a new user, regardless, and here's the catch, of what age you are. Because there's a different dynamic for different age groups and different life situations. Because being honest about it, creating a YouTube channel is tremendously impacted by your life situation. For example, there's a young lady on YouTube who created a channel 10 years ago, and she was 19 years old when she started the channel, and it's in the travel category. And she worked that channel for 10 years. And during those 10 years, she was single, she was able to travel, she had resources, she had lots of energy, she had lots of ideas. And for her to grow and build a channel took on a whole different meaning than it would for people that may be older, maybe not as resourceful, maybe not as experienced in speaking. There's a lot of situations that go into creating a YouTube channel. And then you have people that are in a condition of they actually see YouTube as a business, and their goal is to hit the floor running and start earning revenue right away, whether it's through the AdSense in YouTube, which usually is not their only stream, but they'll set up Patreons, they'll set up branding, they'll sell merch, they'll do all kinds of things. A lot of this depends on how you're entering and what you're bringing in, if you want to call it baggage, into the discussion of creating a new YouTube channel. So returning back to the lady's story, she started a brand new channel, and her new channel is going to basically document what is it like starting a new channel now that she's 38, 39 years old. She's married, she has children, she has different life obligations, and it's not the same as when she was 19, single, no strings attached. There's a whole different dynamic to the not only the age groups and your energy and your expectation and your idea flow even, because when you get older, you get more experience. That brings different content to your videos, to your, to the game, if you want to say it that way. She wants to document how it's going to be now in her new circumstance. Meanwhile, in those 10 years, she built a large YouTube channel. She's got a lot of followers, and it actually became evergreen because even though she's not really posting on it and being as active in it anymore, she has so much content out there built up over all this time that her channel shows up in search results. And her channel still continues to gain subscriptions, and her channel still generates views and watch hours. So she's built that long-term evergreen income off her channel. So that kind of contrasts to the people that tend to just jump in following trends and being in the moment and doing videos about things that aren't going to make a difference 6 months or a year from now. And they have to keep being current, and that takes more energy. And that's usually typically done again in that, let's call it 18 to 30 age group. Then you also have the ones that invest a lot of money and take it as a business right off the get-go. And they build it as a business. They'll build branding. They have a studio. They've got professional equipment, so on and so forth. That's usually another thing that's typical of people setting up in their 20s. And there are probably several of them invested into it. And they really need to make money because they're supporting not just an individual, but multiple people. The point to these situations are if you're not in that kind of life moment, let's call it, then watching their videos on how to create a channel or how to be successful isn't going to work for you because you may be in a completely different situation. So that's another point to bring in at this time. and that is to talk about doing what is right for you in your situation. Are you in the 18 to 30 age group? Or are you more midlife in the 30 to 50 age group? Or are you more into starting later life? And the reason this makes a difference as well is because YouTube, basically for most people, unless you have a lot of initial upfront capital, is a long game type thing. It's something that takes years to develop if you want it to become passive income. If you want it to develop in a way that it's going to continue, like the lady's first channel, to generate subscriptions and watch hours and views, even when you're not posting to it anymore, or you're only posting maybe once a month. So whatever age you're in, whatever circumstance you're in, first thing you want to realize getting started in YouTube is, are you in it for the long game? Are you in it to develop and build because you want a passive income, or are you just in it for a hobby and you're not worried about the money? But if you're looking at it to get any kind of revenue, even a small revenue, in a long term, you need to think long term in your channel. And for this reason, you can't give up. You must be consistent, and you must keep trying to develop yourself and learning. And you don't have to get highly polished and all that. There's a lot of content creators out there that they're scripted, they're not polished, they don't have all the fluff that the commercial, I call them commercial channels because they got a lot of money behind them. But they still generate a pretty good revenue. Now, how long will the revenue continue? How long is their video going to be considered an evergreen? It kind of depends on the topic. So without getting into the weeds specifically of how YouTube channels function, let's continue to talk about the age groups. And let's continue to talk about, where are you at in life? Are you working full-time and trying to manage a family and trying to be a content creator? That's probably the biggest point, the one you'll have the most struggle in is that age group. That's generally your 30 to 50 something age group. In the 30 to 50 something age group, you want to pre-plan and set a real expectation so you don't get frustrated and have burnout. And there's still content creators now that starting new channels, they get frustrated and they get burned out because channels don't accelerate. Good quality video content type channels, non-trending, just good informational channels, they don't usually have too many viral moments. They build over time, and the bigger your channel gets, the more videos you put out over time, it's kind of a snowball effect. It'll grow as it goes forward. It won't grow all at once. And a lot of people get discouraged over, they may have a viral moment that all of a sudden puts them into getting money from YouTube. But then if they don't maintain that level of watch hours and views, then they notice that that surge that triggered the income starts dwindling back down within a month or two. They're not going to keep getting money from that video, or it's going to be very little. And that sort of thing can't be discouraging. What you need is that over time, several of those, because they will trigger people to watch your other videos that aren't performing as well. And all that keeps growing, and that's why it takes time. But time management becomes difficult when you're in this active life condition in your personal experience, that you're trying to manage family and work and schedules and, just life happens kind of a thing. I had this happen to me, which really, I let life kind of take over on a channel that I had done before, and it basically ultimately became the death of the channel. The channel's still out there. It still gets views. It still gets subscriptions. I do post to it about once a month, but it's not big. It's not monetized, but it's active. But I learned a lot from that channel. And in the meantime, I learned a lot about applying a channel to your age and your limitations, let's call them. The limitation of the amount of time you have to put into it. For example, my first channel was a cooking channel. It takes a lot of time to make cooking videos. Do you have that kind of time? Does the content you want to put out require a lot of time? If it does and you don't have a lot of time, then you may want to consider a subject matter that doesn't require so much time and effort. Because just learning, if you're new, learning YouTube, learning how to edit videos, learning how to upload them, all that sort of thing, if you're not used to it, in itself is going to take a lot of time. Now, once you get going at it and you get more comfortable with it, you can pivot and change your topic and maybe put more time into the videos themselves if you don't have that much time now. Now, if you get up into your nearing or have reached retirement years, let's say late 50s to early mid 60s, you still may not have a lot of time. I've retired, but I still work part-time, and I have to work on videos around that schedule. So I am limited in how much work I can do on content creating and video editing. And that's why I switched from cooking to these videos, which they call talking head, because it requires a lot less time to edit, although I have to put a lot of time into researching what I'm talking about, creating talking points. In some cases, I might script, but not on this channel. This one I do outlines because my memory doesn't always hold real well, and outlines also help you keep on track so you don't digress off into other areas. And I know I've done that in this video already because I stopped looking at my outline and I'm focused on talking to you. And I just want to bring out information to you that will be useful and help you set the expectation of what it's like to be a content creator at whatever stage of life that you're into. So the more mature audiences, we're going to have a different set of challenges. Maybe you don't feel well for a few days because you've got health issues, or maybe it's just aging. So you have to learn to work around that as well. But as you get going, the important thing is create videos and put them out and learn as you go. Because honestly, for the most part, once you get up to 30, 40, 50 videos and beyond, nobody's going to remember the first ones you did. Nobody's going to, they might look at them once in a great while if somebody's scrolling through all you did, but when you've got 50 videos to scroll through, they're probably not going to go back more than about 10. So all these first efforts, although you wanted to put out good information and you felt like those are really good videos, I wish they had more reach. In honesty, they're just really not going to. So don't get your mind wrapped up into that each video is going to make a huge impact, especially in the beginning. That will come later. And by the time it comes, your distribution and your viewership will come as well. When searching YouTube, find creators that present information closest to your situation. There's a lot of noise out there about creators trying to give you information to either create a new channel or to be successful at YouTube, but you have to consider, are these creators in your situation? Are they more like we talked about in the 18 to 30 year range? Are they in the 30 to 50 year range? Or are they in the senior range? And the reason you want to focus on that because they will give you information more directly related to what's applicable to your situation. It's really easy to overthink YouTube. So you want to be careful, and that often happens with all the information that's out there. And if you watch too many videos about how to do things on YouTube, you can easily get trapped into feeling overwhelmed. Focus on learning at your own pace. If you are in a particular age group, watch videos from people that are in that age group. They will tend to pace things that are more applicable to you. Once you start creating videos, you want to make sure to post a video at least weekly. So you want to try and work out ahead of time in your mind how many obligations you have in life and where you can fit in time to create and record and edit a video so that you can post it at the same time regularly every week. YouTube does work off of that. They will do better over time when you do better on a consistent basis. Important point to remember, practice doesn't make perfect. It makes you better. And better is all you're trying to strive for. Each video, you will get better at it. You will learn tips and tricks along the way. Try and watch a couple of videos during your week that teach you about how to make thumbnails, that teach you about how to make titles for your videos, that teach you editing methods. There are very good content creators out there that address these things, and they do it in a very good way. But again, when you're looking at that, you're most likely going to get better results by following people closer to your age group because they're going to present it in a more relatable way. You need to have a passion to give you drive to push you through when videos don't perform well, when subscriptions are low. When you're trying to reach certain goals, be careful with those goals. I wouldn't strive so much to try and get 1,000 subs or try and get 4,000 watch hours. Don't really make that a goal. It just has to be. It is a position that YouTube sets because that's where you need to be to monetize. But if you just focus on your content and focus on improving yourself, you'll reach all those goals. It'll just come naturally. It'll come organically, as they say. It's not something you need to rush to. Matter of fact, you don't necessarily want to rush to it. You will get the subscriptions you need. You'll get the watch hours you need. But you need to recognize where you fit based on your life, where you are in life right now, what your age is, what your obligations are, what your energy is. If you're 65 years old, you're going to have a hard time either relating to or trying to match someone who's 19 years old. The energy level and the thinking are completely different. You will have much more success recognizing who you are and where you're at if you stay in your lane.